There's a wellness revolution. People are sick and tired of the sick care model. We're in a health crisis. Dr. Vic Manzo. Obesity on the rise. Heart disease, cancer continue to go up. People dying from prescription drugs. Something has to change, and it begins with us. Here is your host, Dr. Vic Manzo with Wellness Smart Radio, educating about the truth on healthcare and empowering the human spirit. And now here's your one and only, Dr. Vic Manzo.
Hey guys, on today's podcast, this episode, we're going to be talking about organization. And the organization process is not like organizing your house, although we'll dive into some of that and use that as an analogy. This organization is going to be looking at the perspective of your nervous system and how well it's organized. And then we'll talk about things of when it is organized, how does that benefit your life? When it isn't organized, how does it not benefit your life? And so overall, do you think that if you're more organized in your life, do you spend more energy or less energy? If you're more organized in your life, are you less efficient or more efficient? And when you start to look at this, you're like, well, yeah, of course, you're going to spend less energy. You're going to be more efficient. You'll get more things done, right? And it's just, that's organization. What's the opposite then? If you're less organized, do you spend less energy or more energy? Are you less efficient or more efficient or less efficient? At the end of the day, it's going to be the opposite. And the reason why I bring this up is because when we look at your nervous system is designed to coordinate and organize. It's like it orchestrates all the information coming in and telling the bodies, the cells, the tissues, the organs, and even your genes on what is needed to respond to that environment. Now, if your nervous system isn't organized, if your nervous system is, let's say, like a dirty bedroom or a dirty closet for that matter, very unorganized, right? I remember when I was in high school, my mother used to yell at me all the time, pick up your clothes off the floor. And I was like, well, I kind of know where there is. This is the section for my dirty clothes. Here's my somewhat clean clothes. And here's a mix of what I don't know what that is. You know, and it becomes inefficient. And there's actually research coming out and showing that if you have a messy room, you're actually more prone to anxiety. You're more prone to be revved up because your brain's always looking at seeing unorganization. And so it throws itself off. You can Google this, look it up. I just actually read this article a couple weeks ago, and I was kind of like, yep, that kind of made sense. I was already an anxiety, anxious type of kid. That explains it. Could have been the bedroom. I think there's more to that, but I think it added more to it. And so it's just one of those things. As I looked at that process and was just like, yeah, that's interesting. So when you look at your life, you know, organization plays a huge role, but also on your nervous system it does too. And here's why. Every single day of your life, you know, one of the laws of creation, I wrote this in my first book, just came out last week, and I talk about the 5 laws of creation, not made by me. It was actually by a guy named Daryl Ankle. His name, Ankle. His name is, he uses a guy named Bashar, and this is where he gets his information from. But long story short, one of the laws of creation states that everything is always in change. Nothing's constant. Everything in the universe is always changing. Your physical body, always changing. Nature, always changing. Everything in life is always changing. Our lives are like that. So when it comes to us, we're always changing. Now, here's where this comes in, and this is where it's very important. When your life is not responding, you know, when you're changing and you're either growing and developing, you're expanding in your life, or at the end of the day, you're shrinking or protecting more, or otherwise known as, some people say, dying more every single day of your life. And the choices that you make and how you respond to your lifestyle stresses and indicate if you had more of a growth day or you had more of a death day or a protection day. In my office, I use protection, not death. But let me emphasize this, because some people say this is a little extreme, but let me just go through this real quick. is that when you stress an organism more than what it can handle, and it cannot adapt to the environment well anymore, what happens to it? Simple, right? You stress an organism, it can't adapt to its environment no more, it ends up dying. Thankfully for humans, we don't die instantly. It takes time, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and even then it takes even longer than that because the body is so resilient and it'll figure things out. It may not be optimal. It's probably not going to respond in optimal ways. The brain's going to sacrifice things in order for it to keep you moving forward, but that's the thing it's going to have to do in order to keep you surviving, and that's the whole purpose of the brain. And so when you look at your life and your nervous system, now that plays a huge role in if you're going to be growing or you're going to be shrinking, or you're going to be growing or you're going to be in protection, or you're going to be living and thriving, or you're going to be dying and shrinking. That's going to play a huge role because if your nervous system isn't organized, what happens? The same thing is like if your life's unorganized. It's going to spend more energy, it's going to be less efficient, and has less energy then on focusing on growth and development. And so then what happens is in your life, you're more in a protection mode. You're more in a sacrifice mode. Your body is more, your brain's going, all right, things are really stressful here. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I'm just going to try and keep moving forward. We're going to figure things out. We're going to sacrifice along the way, and let's just see how long this goes. That's it. Simple as that. Your brain is a 2 million-year-old program to keep you alive. That's the purpose of it. So it's going to sacrifice all that it can. Once you truly grasp this principle, you start to understand then that and I want you guys to really listen to this, is that your body will never create something against you. Your body will never do anything to harm itself. It will never create no disease on purpose. Your body creates things because it's trying to protect itself. Your body creates stuff like cancer, heart disease, diabetes. Those are protective mechanisms. It means the body's been trying to protect, and it can't keep protecting anymore. It's protecting so much that it's giving out. You see, your body never does something against you. It's always trying to work for you because it's trying to have an experience just as much as you are. And so when you look at this for a second, when you look at the big C word like cancer, it's a protective mechanism. The body's trying to protect itself, and unfortunately, this is what it has to do. You can look up something, a gene signaling called CPR55, and that's actually a signal from the brain that tells the body if it has to do cancer or not. Take a look at it, guys. Google it. I did a talk on this with CBD oil in our workshop at the Wellness Path, and when I mentioned this, people were like, what? I can't believe that. No way your brain tells your body to do that. I said, this is the research. Here's the science. This is basic physiology. We learned about this. I learned a lot about this and more. But the thing is, when you're looking at your life, if you're not organized, if your body's constantly in a go-go protective state, you're burning things up. You're burning up resources. You're going faster and faster and faster. You age faster. You're not going through the ease of life. Things are just going too fast, and you start to wear and tear. You start to break down. The body can't work and keep up as well as it can. It has to sacrifice. So when you focus on your life, and the goal is then, how do you keep your nervous system organized? How do you keep it in an organized state so they can help focus more on growth? And that's where chiropractic comes in, guys. This is Chiropractic 101. Chiropractic's all about making you respond in the most optimal way possible to your life and giving yourself an opportunity to express as much life as you possibly can with this human body. That's chiropractic. It's not about back pain. It's never been about headaches, neck pain. It just has never been. Chiropractic is truly designed to expand your life and help keep you in a growth state as much as possible. So that when you are living through life, you're being at the best you can until your time comes. There's going to come a time, we're in a physical human body. The physical human body has a limit. And that limit is it can't live up to over 1,000 years. We're just not there. Our bodies, our consciousness and energy and all that good stuff and our DNA hasn't changed enough where it can withstand and hold energy and slow things down enough to where we can live like that. Because aging really, and we're going to do a talk on this in the Wellness Path, on the Wellness Smart Radio here in a couple weeks, but we're going to talk about aging and what really it is. And how can you slow down aging? Not stop it. You can't stop aging. Unfortunately, you can't, right? Everything's changing in the universe. We are always changing because every day is another day closer to our time to leave this place. I know this sounds some people, oh man, I want to think about that. But it's the truth. It's just the truth. It's a reality. Keep it in the forefront of your mind. Helps you actually appreciate things a little more and take action on things instead of letting things slide in life. So when you look at your life, when you're looking at all these different perspectives, you want to make sure, how can I slow down my nervous system to get it more in a balanced state so that I can be in more growth? And that's where chiropractors is. That's what we detect. That's what we look for. We look for those imbalances. We know how to. We know about the subtle changes, and we understand when the nervous system is in protection mode, what we call in chiropractic subluxation. Those are going to be things that are going to help you slow down and help the body be more efficient so you can respond and be more optimal to your life. I mean, guys, let's face it. Why is it that most, if not the best people in sports utilize chiropractic? Politicians utilize chiropractic, and so much more. They know something that they're not, that they utilize. Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, just to name a few, Jordan Spieth. I mean, you start looking at these athletes and you start to notice that they utilize chiropractic to be the best that they can so they can respond as most optimally as possible when it comes to coming to the game that they play in and to being the best at their sport. And the same thing is with you. You're in a game called life, and your life is all dependent upon if you can respond in a more growth state and be in that state as long as possible, focusing on that. You're going to be responding to the best you possibly can so you can be the best player in this game called life. It's just that simple. So when you look at your life and we look at when it comes to organization, the more your nervous system is organized, that's what orchestrates and leads down the path. It's the down chain, if you want to call it. You look at the nervous system, when it's stressed out, if it's unorganized, it's not going to be able to communicate everything as well. It's your big communication system within the body. And so if the nervous system can't communicate to everything properly in a more efficient manner and not in an organized manner, all the cells are going to follow suit. It's impossible to do the opposite. And here's the thing, you don't feel no symptoms with this. There's just no symptoms. Symptoms don't come on until later on when the body has burned up some resources, when you start to get into an exhausted state in some shape or form. That's when symptoms will come. So when you look at going to a chiropractor, understand that it's not about back pain, neck pain, or headaches. It's not about treating any condition, illness, symptom, or diseases. Chiropractors don't do that. Chiropractors that don't treat nothing. That's not what we do. What we do is help your body respond more optimal to your life. And as we do that, symptoms will reside. Symptoms will start to go away. You'll start to have more energy, feel better, have more mood, focus, concentration, feel a zest to life, feel more just calmer and more relaxed and not so uptight. And you'll just feel, improved digestive, energy system, immune systems, and so much more. I can go on and on and on and on. Less stress, less anxiety, it could go on and on. Because when you balance the nervous system and get it more in an organized state, it can slow down and be in more of a growth state. And when you're more in a growth state, you're more in an optimal state. And when you're in an optimal state, that's when you're thriving, and that's when you're experiencing your maximized human potential. So I hope this kind of puts in a little different perspective, hearing chiropractic in a different way. But I wanted to do a show on this just because I think it's a great concept for you guys to just look at when it comes to your health and life. If your nervous system's not balanced and not in a growth state, no matter what you do, you're only taking care of effects and never getting to the cause. People will be like, well, I have an essential oil for this, or I have a supplement for this, or I have an herb for this, or I have a homeopathic remedy for this. I have this, that, this. Not saying those don't work. They're great. I use those in my own life. But understand, if the nervous system isn't in a growth state, you're taking care of the effects of a nervous system not in a growth state. And now you have to do all that work, and eventually it's not going to keep up. But if you do chiropractic first and then do everything second, man, that's when you truly maximize your health. That's when you truly start to get to the cause and revamp from the ground up. So I hope you guys like the show. Again, as always, check us out on Facebook. If in iTunes. If you like the show, please give us a review. Let us know what you think about it. If you want to have any other shows or topics that you're interested in listening to, shoot us a message at Dr. Vic at visitthewellnesspath.com. I'll be more than happy to put some shows out there for you guys as we're building up a ton of content for y'all. So I want to thank you for listening, and until next time, be well, live well. The choice is yours.